Yes. Welcome back, all you lovely mortals. I'm told some of you forgot about your old pal, the Vollock. But I told you I would return. It was foretold by the very beasts of the field and the birds of the air. Yes, summer draws to a close, while it is still hotter than the pits of the slough when the nubs and zools were roasted. The days grow short, and my dark power rises once more. I needed a good nap, 5 months or so, after the way the basketball season ended. It was a shame. But now I speak to all of you directly. No mortal stands between us. Oh, what happened to him? Well, he disagreed with something that ate him. Such is the way of darkness. There's always a price to be paid. Do you dare pay the price to know the future of sport? You would not be here otherwise. Yes, it took me some time to get over the loss to Purdue. It was a sad day for all of Vol Nation. Very, very sad. But time marches on, and Rick Barnes has been recruiting a firestorm. He's done very well. He may not have plugged all the holes, but you can't when you lose players like Grant and Admiral and Kyle. But he's done an admirable job, and look out. That 2020 class could be trouble. Josiah James looks like a one and done, but if he were to return, the Vols have already added Keon Johnson, Corey Walker. They're in good shape with Jaden Springer, PJ Hall, and Paolo Banchero. This could be the greatest class in Tennessee history. But we're not here to discuss basketball. Oh, there will be a time for that, my friends. All you delightful mortals with your meaty haunches. We're here to talk about football. The gridiron is upon us. It is time. If you thought following the basketball team was difficult, at least the basketball team was coming off a good year and expected to do good things. The football team is coming off, frankly, a lousy year where they're not expected to do much. But what can we expect, really? The SEC is a line of scrimmage league. This team will go as far as the offensive and defensive lines take them. Coach Pruitt says he has no idea who's going to start on the offensive line, but they have to be better, right? Offensive linemen were interviewed just the other day. They're tired of losing. They've got a chip on their shoulder. It's the same sort of stuff you hear in fall camp every year, but maybe they mean it this time. On the defensive line, the Vols took a huge hit when Gooden went out for the season. And the Vols must pray to whatever dark forces are out there that the NCAA gets off its duff and grants the waiver for Solomon. The defensive line is a big question mark, and Pruitt has been working with them daily. Because, as I said, this is a line of scrimmage league. But there's more to it than that. If you can get blocks against Auburn and Kentucky, Jarrett Garantano showed that he can be the kind of quarterback we all hope he can be. He can throw it. He can make all the throws. And the wide receiver core, Juwan Jennings, Marquez Callaway, Dominic Wood-Anderson, it's like they're machines that were built to catch footballs. It's by far the most senior room on the team. But you've got to give the quarterback time. In the backfield, Ty Chandler returns, and freshman Eric Gray has been turning heads in camp. So much so that Jeremy Banks, the hard-running running back that was moved to linebacker, moved back to running back, has now been moved to linebacker again. He's maybe the toughest runner on the team, but he had fumbles at times when a team with a narrow margin just can't have turnovers. So hopefully he brings the same toughness and intensity to the defensive side of the ball. But we've got to block. On defense, we've got to get off blocks. We've got to worry the quarterback. We've got to stuff the run. We've got to establish the run. We've got to control the line. That is where the games will be won and lost. So, moving on, you know this channel is about prognostication. But it seems less than sporting to only pick Tennessee games. I know. Some of you pull for other teams, and if you're determined to be wrong, this is America. You're allowed. I can't make sense of it, but you do you. So moving on, let's pick some games. We'll be picking week 1 games and one game from this weird week 0 that we're having this weekend. That game is, of course, Miami at Florida. What's going on with the Gators, folks? It's like half their team woke up this morning and said, "Oh my God, I'm in Gainesville, let me out. I'd even rather go to prison." I'm not sure they'll have a team. And surely Mark Richt will have the Miami Hurricanes. What's that? Manny Diaz? Mark Richt was at Miami for less time than it takes to heat up a burrito in the microwave. That's ridiculous. Well, I don't know this Manny Diaz very well, but they're playing in the swamp. Florida's giving 7.5 points. I think the Gators win and cover, unfortunately. But I think the attrition and whatever's going on behind the scenes comes back to bite those little reptiles at some point. It just won't be week 1. We can wait. Moving forward, Tennessee's week 2 opponent, BYU, plays host to arch-rival Utah. The Cougars are getting 5 points at home. Seems odd. I think BYU takes this one. I think they cover and they win outright, setting up a very interesting matchup in week 2, which we'll get to in a future video. Next, Oregon State at home giving 15 points to Oklahoma State. Cowboys and Beavers, oh my goodness. I think the Beavers will play with a little more pride and keep it within 2 touchdowns. They won't win, but they will cover. The University of Georgia Bulldogs, 20.5 point favorites over Vandy. Yeah, the Bulldogs will take this one. Vandy is not going to be good. I don't see them staying close to this very, very loaded Georgia team. Alabama, 34.5 points over Duke. Moving on. Alabama could beat the Carolina Panthers by 34.5. It's ridiculous. Duke will play spirited ball, but they don't have the horses in Durham. Finally, Auburn, -3, hosting Oregon. This is an intriguing matchup, but I like War Eagle at home. And then, finally, we must look to the dark forces to see what will be the fate of our Volunteers versus the Georgia State Wildcats, Tigers. I don't even know what they are. They have only had a football program since 2010. I have socks with more tradition than that. They won't have the horses. The Vols are favored by 26 points. Let's see if the Vols are going to cover. This will require a very, very special potion. Orbs of orange. Claws of white. Reveal the fate of the Vols this night. Refreshing. Vols win. Vols cover. You can name your score in Neyland Stadium, August 31st. We'll see you next week when I'll preview Tennessee BYU and the Week 2 action. Sleep tight, mortals.